I see you shiver with anticipation.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Tuesday night, home team sports. We haven't been here in a while. It's the Big Alboski. It's Fantasy Champ. We'll be joined maybe by Chris Vant, our boy. But Anthony, so much shit's happened over the last, 48 hours.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. All kinds of stuff in sports. So we're going to start with the news that Russell Wilson was traded to the Broncos. Your thoughts?
This was an overpay. This was the desperate Denver Broncos. Just baffled by how much they gave up for Russell Wilson.
Insane.
He's 33. I mean, his best days are behind him. So this just surprises me. I mean, the price for Watson just went up.
I don't know if the price for Watson's gone up depending on what's going on with him because, you don't – that's the intangible in the whole thing, right? Like that's – you don't know what's going to happen. How many games is he going to be suspended? So I don't know if teams had to give up. Like if they would have tried to trade for him a year ago, I don't think they got to give up the same amount now, no?
I mean, he's a young guy, and he's very talented. I don't know how the NFL suspends him unless he's found guilty of something. So this thing just keeps dragging on. So once his legal problems are behind him, then we'll have a clearer picture.
So,
like I said, I think it was a desperate Broncos team here, just overreaching.
So moving forward, like, what does Seattle do at quarterback? Are they going to draft a quarterback? And they got a lot of draft picks for him, and 3 players?
Yeah, I mean, you either make a trade for Watson or you could trade up in the draft too now.
The 2 teams that have the most draft capital to go for Watson are Seattle and Philly.
You could say the Giants too have more than the Eagles.
I don't know. The Eagles have 3 first-round draft picks.
The Giants
and Jalen Hurts,
2 top 10s, which would give them. Oh yeah, you throw Jalen Hurts in there, yeah.
They're gonna throw in Jalen. I mean, if they make a play, they made an offer that nobody knows about, quote unquote, for Russell Wilson. Washington made an offer for Russell Wilson too, but in the end, he wanted to go to Denver.
Probably a roster he feels like he can win with, because he knows his days are numbered. He's 33. I mean, he's not going to be a quarterback that can play into his 40s like Brady. He doesn't have
not the style that he plays.
No, he's slowing down. He uses his footwork for a lot of things. He's getting fatter. You can just see it. And he's short. That hurts.
Big Chris Vance says he can't get on. Go into the home. If you tried it on yours, go into the home team sports one and try that one, because that's how Anthony joined me. But anyway,
he's short too, so he, that's a problem when he gets older, and he loses arm strength.
Okay, but so the Seahawks traded him and a 4th-round pick for Noah Fant, the tight end, Drew Lock, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, 2 first-rounders, 9th overall this year.
That's probably
they could draft a quarterback. 2 second-round picks and a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, who's the talk here of the draft is Malik Willis. So
right, he's the only one. I mean, him and Pickett, but I think Willis is at the combine. I heard that Willis kind of his stock went way up.
Yeah, he went way up. I mean, the only people you'd have to worry about if you're the Broncos, you do got people to worry about. You got the Texans could take him. The Giants could take him. The Panthers could take him. The Panthers
What do you think of Wilson going into the AFC West versus Mahomes twice a year versus Justin Herbert twice a year?
I mean, he was in a good division though, right? He was with the Niners. He was with. I'm having a brain fart of that division right now.
Oh, 49ers, the Rams,
The Rams,
the Cardinals.
Cardinal. I mean, he was already in it. He was in that kind of division already, right? He was the worst of the three
Yeah, but
quarterbacks
don't you
in
think
that. He
if
just
he
became
would have
the
went,
worst of the.
if he would have went to Washington, New York, or Philly, one of those three teams, don't you think he would have dominated the NFC East for the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 years?
I don't think he has it left in him.
I'm not saying that those teams are a quarterback away. I'm saying that he ends up becoming the best quarterback in that division, where in the AFC West, he's what, third?
I'm trying to think. You got Mahomes, you got Herbert. He's better
And
than
then
Carr.
him.
He's better than Carr.
All right, I think we got Chris. There he is. What's up, brother?
Been trying.
Well, you're here. You're here. So, me and Anthony talked about it. What do you think of this Russell Wilson trade to the Broncos?
I think it's an upgrade.
Well, yeah, but
For Seattle,
he's probably the third best quarterback in the AFC right now, behind Mahomes. He's third best quarterback. It improves the team.
Russell Wilson is
Russell Wilson. So you would take him over Herbert
with the offensive weapons that he has. Yes. Now in Denver, the young talent that he's got, the defense. That's definitely going to make them Super Bowl contenders.
Well, yeah. Last time he won a Super Bowl, he had a great defense, so there's that. But I'm saying like I could probably name 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the AFC right now better than him.
With the defense that Denver would have, and Von Miller saying he wants to go back
talent.
there.
If we're ranking quarterbacks, I can name 5 quarterbacks in the AFC better than Russell Wilson.
Correct, but with better defenses.
Right, but I mean, just this year the Bengals didn't have exactly bone-crushing defense. They got to the Super Bowl.
The Bengals had a lucky year, like certain teams do. I don't see the Bengals winning that division or doing anything next year. They might make the playoffs, but that's about it.
That's not very nice, Jennifer, calling Chris's ugly mug. Just saying. But Anthony made a point, though, Chris, that they overpaid. Do you think that the Broncos overpaid for him?
No, I do not. The Rams overpaid for Matthew Stafford, and what'd that get him? A Super Bowl.
Well, yeah.
You got to pay for talent. The guy has been there. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. It's well worth it.
He almost won back to them. Yeah, but 37's the new 33, Anthony.
No, not when you're 5'3". No. No. He doesn't have the arm strength that he's slowly losing that.
No, he can still. Come on.
He's losing his arm strength, I'm telling you.
He won 12 games in 2020.
The guy had weapons in Seattle. And what did he do?
You're talking about last year.
Yeah. What did he do?
What? But, I mean, the Cardinals were hot. The Rams were hot. The 49ers were hot. It was a rough division. And, I mean, they didn't have a defense.
So what happens when Kansas City slowly building that defense up?
Well, that's
Chargers
what I'm
are getting better.
about.
We're just going to keep making – I know. We're going to keep making excuses for this guy. He's getting old. He's not as good as he was.
Better, yes. Super Bowl contenders, no. No one better than KC or Cincy. What about Buffalo?
Yeah, you got Buffalo.
Did everybody forget about them?
You got Buffalo. And I think the Chargers are probably better than
all right, so there's
people give them credit for.
We were just before Chris came on, we were
Don't
agreeing.
sleep on the Patriots either.
We were agreeing that Russell Wilson is only the 3rd best quarterback in that division, let alone the AFC.
Yeah.
Because he's in the division with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. He's got to play them twice a year. It'll be interesting. Buffalo's still a contender for sure. Thanks, Jennifer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's great for the Broncos, bad for Seattle. They paid I'm sorry. It's okay for the Broncos, but I think they overpaid. I agree with Anthony. They overpaid for him.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean,
3 players, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, the number 1 overall pick this year, and 2023. It's a lot.
It's a lot, but look what the Rams gave away to get Matthew Stafford there.
I think Matthew Stafford is more talented.
What'd you say, Chris?
Look what the Rams gave away to get Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, and it got him a Super Bowl, but it gave him a Super Bowl.
But you're talking a 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback.
I also think the Rams were only a quarterback away. I don't think the Broncos are a quarterback away.
They have a great running back, 3 great young receivers, a great defense. They're a quarterback away as well.
I also think Matthew Stafford's way more talented than Russell Wilson with his arm.
No way.
He is.
I'm not getting into that. All right. I'm not getting into that,
brother. Look at the guy's numbers.
Yeah, I know. You're judging Russell Wilson on last season. He did have 12 wins in 2020.
I know.
You know what I mean?
But he's getting older. And he's short. You guys, I don't think you're really taking into the factor that he's slowing down. He's not getting out of the pocket in these defense.
He wasn't any bigger than Drew Brees, and Drew Brees played at a high level all the way up to the end.
Yeah, different quarterback. He's a Hall of Famer.
Well, you're not saying Russell Wilson couldn't eventually be a Hall of Famer?
Time's ticking.
I guess we're gonna find out. All right, changing tunes. Another of AJ's favorite quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, decides to stay in Green Bay to the tune of $200 million for 4 years, making him the highest paid football player in football. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll let Chris go.
Go ahead, Chris.
I mean, it's a great sign. If maybe Denver would have offered more, I mean, it was either Denver or Green Bay. It was his choice to stay, and for $50 million, 153 guaranteed, I would take that in a minute.
And they franchise tagged Devontae so
Adams.
Well,
so he's got Cobb and Adams.
Don't think Rodgers didn't sign that deal knowing Adams is coming back.
Right. And
I think it's a great deal for Green Bay. I mean, it's one you had to make, right? What's the other option? Drew Lock? Russell Wilson?
No, you mean Jordan Love.
Well, no, because I think they've already thrown him out. I think they saw that experiment and it wasn't what they thought it was going to be.
Oh boy. I wonder who's going to end up being the quarterback of it. Because I mean, Seahawks do have Drew Lock, but I mean, do they draft a quarterback, start over, and let Drew Lock quarterback this year, or like it's going to be interesting to see who quarterbacks for the Seahawks this year.
Now, what's his name's going to quit, right? Who's the coach there?
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll, he'll quit. Anytime times get tough, like UFC, USC.
They still have Gino.
He's out.
Oh yeah, they got Gino.
And he didn't play bad.
No, he came in, made the best of it. I mean, he's still got something left.
Yeah, I mean, a guy that couldn't cut it in New York goes to Seattle, takes over for Russell Wilson. He has weapons now, and just proves how Russell Wilson's not that good.
But they also have the 9th pick in the draft. They can get a decent quarterback in the first round.
Truth.
Maybe.
Or trade.
I think, why would Rodgers leave? Why would Rodgers leave in that division? I mean, come on. You got Detroit, you got Chicago, you got Minnesota. I mean, what competition does he have?
I think not Seattle. Green Bay learned a little bit with Favre. People were upset when he left. I think they weren't looking to repeat that.
Interesting.
Give his guys money. They'll figure. They manipulate cap all the time. They'll do that. They'll be fine.
I wonder how interested he was in going to another team, though. Or was it never a thing? Or was he just kind of floating it out there?
Why would he? Yeah, why would he go to the AFC?
He seemed unhappy. I mean, he made the world think he was unhappy there.
He said it was Denver or retirement. And
he was talking. I heard that too. I heard retirement was in the books. Possible, but I mean, he's going to give it another go in Green Bay. And again, staying in the NFC, Russell Wilson's going from NFC to AFC. He's going to have a little tougher time, I think. There's a lot better talent in the AFC than the NFC right now.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Especially that division.
So let's talk about something you guys are heavily into, and that'd be gambling. Calvin Ridley suspended for the entire 2022 season for gambling. Too much? Not enough?
Too much. I mean, they were going to pay
Anthony says not enough.
To rig games to lose, but yet none of them have been penalized.
It was not enough. Nowhere near enough.
Not enough.
He's lucky his career's not over.
He should be banned for life?
He's lucky he's not.
Well, why?
Because one, he knows people in all the locker rooms, right? He has inside information. He can do. The NFL is built on gambling, right?
Now that it's legal.
Yeah. Now everybody's tuning in. People started to go away, but the gambling's brought a lot of people back. This is the kind of stuff that could ruin it. And one guy's not bigger in the league, and he's lucky.
They have rules in place. They have rules in place.
Yeah,
you're right.
Stupid. There's rules in place.
There's rules in place, and he broke the rules, and he even said, "My bad," but he only lost $11 million out of free. He tweeted out he lost $1,500, but he really lost $11 million. I don't know how that works. You guys know better than I do.
He probably lost $11 million because he lost money from Atlanta when he decided to sit out the rest of the season.
Oh, okay.
That's probably what
he was
talking about.
He was set to be a hot free agent. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But
the whole thing is, this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. This guy got. The rules. You're not bigger than the game, and he's lucky he did not axe for life. Look at Pete Rose. They won't put him in the Hall of Fame because of it.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't know.
It's the integrity of the game. That's what they're trying to protect.
Yeah, I mean, he bet on a game he didn't play in, though. It's different.
Matter.
I think,
this is why they didn't want to put a team in Vegas.
Pete Rose kind of bet on games that he played in, and then they have rules in place for fantasy football too. They're allowed to play fantasy football, but only up to $250.
And that's
they
should, because they manipulate the game any way they want.
Well, because they can, right? They could draft themselves. Think about that. Nobody thinks about that. Imagine NFL players who play fantasy football, okay? And they could draft themselves, and if they need this or that or the other thing, they could manipulate it one way or the other.
Well, yeah, especially during garbage time.
Right.
It's.
But he did all his betting when he was injured and when he wasn't playing. And just betting a parlay for one. It was through multiple games, but only $1,500.
It should have been $0.
Exactly.
There's
right,
rules.
but the question was: is the suspension for the entire game enough or not enough? Anthony says not enough. You say it's.
I think it's enough. I mean, you literally had owners willing to pay coaches to lose games on purpose.
That hasn't been proven yet.
It's happened. We all know it's happened.
He said it, but it hasn't been proven.
Nobody has been penalized for that. If he was gambling straight on the Falcons winning or losing, yes.
I mean,
if he was betting against other teams, that's a different story.
Who was the guy from the Bengals that tried to say he was getting paid to lose? And someone's like, "You'd be a billionaire by now." He won like 2 games in 3 seasons. Oh no, the Browns. I'm sorry, the Browns. That's right. What it was. That coach came out and said he was paid to lose games, but I don't think that I don't see it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a tough subject.
If you're paying your coach to lose, which empties your stadium, it just doesn't make sense. This, right. Like I said, I don't think this guy's punishment was enough. That's just my opinion. You're trying to save the integrity of the game. This was their worry about letting the Raiders go to Vegas. And that wasn't even the players. They were worried about those players getting close to people and them getting inside information. And this is a guy that's friends with all these teams, and he's betting on games. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough subject. I know that all day long they've been talking about it, and there's been back and forth, just like what happened just now between you and Chris, because there's people that think it wasn't enough. There's people that thought it was too much. There's people trying to make the argument that now that gambling is so widespread and legal now, we have apps and stuff, like we just go on our phone, place bets, blah, blah, blah. Why is this being made to be such a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because the NFL wants to protect the integrity of the game. And so they place rules, in place for this to happen. Calvin Ridley, and he was set to be one of the hot free agents this year.
Now, if you're making $11 million, you think that I'm to believe that you only placed a $1,500 bet to win what?
Well, can't they check that? Can't they check on that somehow, or is it?
It was a parlay. It was a parlay.
What that's what I want to know. What did that parlay?
I'm wondering I'm wondering if it was a parlay where he could have won $11 million and he lost. I don't know.
I didn't even see what the parlay was, but I'm saying no. If you make that much money, what are you making a $1,500 bet for?
True.
Because
it can't be just one time. No, stop. It was one time that you got caught. Yeah,
it wasn't one time though. They proved that it's more than one time. If it was one time, he might have got a little bit less, but it was more than one time. So. They made I guess they wanted to make an example. They wanted to make an example of him, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, it occurred when he stepped away from the game for personal reasons is when the gambling happened.
Did anybody find out what those personal reasons were?
What's up, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's more to the story that we probably don't even know.
Rodney's asking, do you guys think that Russell Wilson to Denver is a good fit for the Broncos? We covered that earlier, but he might just be tuning in now.
I'm on the fence. I don't think he's the guy.
I don't think for his division because he's a Chargers fan, so I'm sure he's not happy about that.
Rodney?
Rodney's a Chargers fan?
Rodney, what do you think? Send me a comment on what do you think, because we covered that. Basically, me and AJ agree that he's only the third best quarterback in that division. So it's going to be tough for him to turn the Broncos, even though the Broncos have a good defense, even though they got a good running game, they got good coaching, they got all that cool stuff. They still got to play the Chiefs twice. They still got to play the Chargers twice. So, you tell me what you think of Russell Wilson. I think it's obviously it's an upgrade, obviously. But were the Broncos a quarterback away? We could debate that all night.
Sometimes you got to
AFC West is stacked. Absolutely. Absolutely, the AFC West is stacked. Absolutely.
That's why they should just, just keep drafting. Because you're going to need young talent, not get older.
You're talking about Broncos?
Yeah.
Well, they just gave away half their damn picks for the next 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't agree with it. It was
so they might be gambling on 1 year, just like the Rams did.
Well, yeah, they're trying to
make
to win the Super Bowl.
You get suspended when you're gambling, so I wouldn't be doing that.
Well, you're right. Don't be gambling on 1 year. All right. How about some notable free agents, franchise tags you guys have heard of? We talked about Devontae Adams is one of the guys that was locked up for the Packers. There was a bunch of other guys. I know, was it Tyler Lockett was locked up Who's the guy? Who's the wide receiver for the Vikings? He was locked up. But
Chris
I got a
Godwin
list
was
here.
locked up.
Chris Godwin was locked up. That's right. I got a list of notable.
That's good for Tampa Bay because they were worried about losing everything.
Mike Williams for the Chargers, but then he signed a contract for 3 years, I believe, $40 million.
Right, they extended his contract. Right,
he was a little disappointing last year, wasn't he? You know, he's the guy that went out there and said, you know, hey, make sure you draft me in fantasy because I'm just going to blow up this year. And he kind of.
So I'm going to throw some names at you. I got a list here of notable 2022 free agents right now as we speak. They haven't been tagged. They haven't been signed by anybody. They're floating out there, unrestricted free agents. Von Miller.
He's going back to Denver.
You mean LA?
Nope, he's going back to Denver.
You think he's going back to the Broncos?
He said, "How will 40 look back in Denver?" He said earlier.
Maybe. Who else we got here? Allen Robinson from the Bears, the wide receiver.
You know, he's
isn't he? I mean, he's kind of injury prone, right?
He's a guy like a lot of people love. Maybe it's because he hasn't had a quarterback. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd run him for a year.
He's a Kenny Galladay type of guy. Like, he could backfire.
He's a good number 2 receiver for a team.
Gronk, yeah, Gronk. He's on there. I don't know if Gronk's going to keep playing without Brady. Do you guys disagree with that?
I
mean, he retired once already.
I think if the situation's right.
Dante Fowler from the Falcons, free agent.
Yeah.
He's a little past his prime.
Yeah. He's not. Where's those
the free safety from the free safety? What's that?
So where's those big time quarterbacks?
Big time quarterbacks?
Yeah, there is none. That's what I'm saying.
How about Clowney? Where do we see Clowney going?
Is he a free agent?
Yeah, Clowney's a free agent.
I don't see him on here.
Why not New England? Right?
I guess.
I don't know if they're in the end, but I think he would go good in that defense.
Pierre Paul is a free agent. Mateo, the free safety from KC, he's a free agent. I mean, these are just notable.
Paul has that's a big name. He's going to be a
safety for the Saints. He's a free agent too.
JJ Smith Schuster. Was it Smith Schuster for the wide receiver for the Steelers?
Juju,
that's him.
I mean,
I think Amari Cooper is going to be floating around there too when they cut him.
Yeah, I think the more interesting names are the ones you could trade for.
Right.
None of the free agents. I mean, Pierre Paul will probably get a good deal somewhere because he's had a hell of a last few seasons in Tampa Bay. Did we just lose Allen?
I believe so.
I mean, that's the biggest name that I've seen on that list, right? I mean, who else would you want in that list on your team?
I believe they're going to cut DeMarcus Lawrence as well from the Cowboys.
I did see that. I did see that. That's a big name that will hit the market. Yeah. That'd be a big name. Yeah. And Amari Cooper, I think, he's $20 million, right?
You guys can hear me, right?
Now I can.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I had to switch from the phone to the computer because my phone was dying. But yeah, I mean, a lot of guys that, and there were a lot of guys out there that I know personally, we all follow different teams. You guys, Chris follows the Jets. Anthony follows the Giants. I follow the Eagles. There was a bunch of free agents out there that were like everybody was drooling over, and man, all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. As soon as that 4 o'clock, I believe it was 4 o'clock deadline got closer, franchise tag. I mean, there was a bunch of guys that I thought the Eagles would make some kind of trade for, but
the list you just gave, like, that didn't excite me. I'm glad we're rebuilding.
Well, I mean, those are notable free. I just named some notable free agents. I mean,
Trubisky's gonna get another shot somewhere. Yeah, no, he is. I mean,
Trubisky got a good shot of getting a starting job somewhere.
But where?
He could be the Giants starter next season.
There's a few teams.
Are they interested in him?
Yeah, because they got his offensive coordinator and they got his previous assistant GM. Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, you got a quarterback 25-13 through his career. Not many quarterbacks can say that in free agency right now.
He's good, but he's not great. You know what I mean? Like, do you just want a serviceable quarterback? And you're mediocre every year. You're 8-8, 9-9, 9-8.
All you need is 1 year.
But
how good was Trent Dilfer when he won a Super Bowl? They took him. He won a Super Bowl there.
Everybody brings up Trent Dilfer all the time. That I could have quarterbacked that team in the Super Bowl.
You think?
They had one of the best defenses of all time.
Correct.
Yeah, they did.
So I mean,
still hate him.
A lot of teams are just right there.
Yeah, because nobody likes Ray Lewis.
Quarterback to get him over the hump.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him get another shot. Why not? He's better than Drew Lock.
All right, so where do you guys think Watson ends up? Because he's now that Rodgers is locked down, now that Russell Wilson is locked down, he seems to be the hot commodity at quarterback then. Even though he still has this whole thing looming over his head and nobody knows exactly what. The teams I'm hearing that have enough capital to go get him are Seattle and the Eagles. Anthony says the Giants. I know they have the capital, but I haven't even heard them mentioned.
The Giants are interested in him, but I think Carolina is.
I think it's Seattle and the Eagles. Right now, I think his trial is actually starting today, is what I heard of.
Oh.
So Ian the only teams that have enough firepower would be either Seattle or the Eagles with multiple first-round picks now to be able to trade for him.
I mean, you're the Eagles. Is that your only problem?
No. But at his age, I would lock him down for the next 10 years. He's 25, right? 25, 26? How old is he?
Mm-hmm. He's 26, 27 maybe.
You get him and you have a top 5 quarterback in the league for the next 10 years.
Correct.
Okay.
So I would take it because then you could build, in the next 2-3 years, add key elements and get back to the dance.
Because you're giving all that draft up. You're giving a lot of that up. So you're going to be building through free agency, not the draft.
But that's how they won the Super Bowl. They built through free agency. They didn't draft those people.
Okay, I'm just saying you're not drafting people. You're not building.
I know, but I'm saying there's two different. There's a lot of fans that say, just stick with Jalen Hurts and build around him because he's only going to get better with coaching and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like,
yeah, because you haven't given him
Jalen Hurts has a ceiling that 10 guys in the league. What?
I said you haven't given him a chance, which is the problem with Philly. They want to, he didn't go.
He started 20 games. We've seen what he can do. He's inaccurate down the field. He can't throw any further than 10. He's dynamic. He's fun to watch. He can make 10-yard plays, but he can't make 40-yard plays.
I think people are just sitting back and waiting to see how this trial progresses before they do anything.
So what's the best weapon they've given him in Philly? Devontae Smith?
Yeah, okay, fine. And he's got a great offensive line, but that's not the point. He's got Dallas Goedert, pretty good tight end. What I'm saying is that what? So if you give him like DK Metcalf, all of a sudden he becomes Russell Wilson?
I would take him over Russell Wilson.
He is not in the top 10 in the league in quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts. This is coming from you, who tore him apart last year, who said, oh, the Eagles ain't doing nothing with Jalen Hurts.
No.
Then they squeezed it into the playoffs. And look what he did in the playoff game.
Yeah, because
he was terrible.
And look, everybody's giving up on him.
But you're saying nothing about Russell Wilson either, and he was the 5th best quarterback in 2021.
He showed you what his ceiling is. You can't tell me the Eagles were right about Carson Wentz. Look what happened to him.
They started running the ball.
What are you talking about? They became one of the best running teams in the league last year.
That's what I just said. You're not listening. They became a better
they don't know how to run the ball.
Because now you can do play action. Now you can open stuff up for Jalen Hurts. You think that Russell Wilson carried that team? No, he had running backs.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that I think the Eagles front office was, they had a press conference at the combine, basically saying Jalen Hurts is the next, Patrick Mahomes or something. Basically trying to, and to me, that was a red flag saying, oh, wait a minute. They're saying way too many good things about Jalen Hurts. So I think they're trying to make the league think that that's what they think about Jalen Hurts, when in reality, they're not convinced he's the guy. And so this is the last year of his rookie contract. So if they end up keeping him, they either got to pay him or unload him. I think they're going to unload him.
I think,
if he goes,
listen, you want Watson.
He doesn't have the pocket presence of a great quarterback. And that's what Deshaun Watson has right now. Jalen Hurts does not have that.
If he goes somewhere else and does well, they're going to be like, oh, well, I guess we were wrong.
I mean,
that happens all the time.
Watson's put up great numbers, but
Watson is a top 5 quarterback in the league. Jalen Hurts is not.
What?
Watson is a top 5 quarterback in the league, without a doubt.
His numbers say he are, but his winning percentage doesn't say that. And don't tell me he didn't have a good defense there, because
his stats
he was there for the J.J. Watt,
the Watt,
the world. He was, he had a defense.
Stats alone show that he is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. And Eli Manning's top 10 all time. Stats show it.
And Eli Manning was a great quarterback. I ain't gonna let that down. He was a good quarterback.
Listen, I love him. I agree.
Good Lord,
Chris, you just became one of my favorites.
Wow.
He won 2 Super Bowls and he beat the Patriots twice. I love the guy.
Listen, amazing. I don't think we can ever get through a home team sports without Anthony mentioning Eli Manning at least once.
I just want to know what you do at Barkley. What are you going to do at Saquon Barkley?
There you go.
Trade him.
What do you do?
See what you can get for him.
But what are they going to get for him?
A fourth.
He gets broken every year.
Then cut him.
His ceiling is enormous if he stays healthy.
Right now, they're totally rebuilding. I think they should just, if you can get something for him, get something for him. If you can't, just let him go. He's going to cost too much money.
Trade him for McCaffrey. They both stay hurt all the time and never play.
I think I'd take McCaffrey.
Hell yeah.
I just think Barkley. The Giants are rebuilding, so it doesn't really matter what you get for him. And if you don't get nothing, just get rid of him. It's a total rebuild, which is what needed to be done.
So, even though you don't follow basketball, Anthony, I want to bring this up because the Brooklyn Nets play in Philadelphia on Thursday. And Coach Nash of the Brooklyn Nets has stated that Ben Simmons will be there. He'll be there on the bench. He's still dealing with back soreness, but he will not play, but he'll be there. How should the How do you think the Philly fans are going to treat him while he's sitting right there in the front row?
What I just got a question because I'm not a big basketball guy. What's the record since the trade?
Like 5-1.
So it's worked out so far
for the Nets.
So far,
Nets
Harden,
have lost.
So far, has been everything is advertised.
No, I'm saying Harden has worked out. I don't know. I haven't been following, so I don't know.
Yeah, Harden has been a really good teammate. He's made Maxey a better player. They look phenomenal. They are the top team in the East. I think they've won 5 or 6 out of the last 7, something like that.
So why should Philly be so hard on Ben then?
Because it's Philly.
What the fuck does it matter? What the fuck does it
because
matter?
He's going to be in the building and they hate him.
Yeah.
I think it'll fire him up a little bit, but I'm still worried about James Harden and his hamstring there. If he's still going to be available, because he's not playing every game.
Oh, he's hurt.
I know.
He's hurt again.
But he's in hamstring protocol, quote unquote, but he'll be fine. It's load management. Trust me. He'll be fine. But anyway, I mean,
does this make them the favorites in the East or no? I don't know.
They're right there. I mean, they got to worry about the Milwaukee Bucks. They got to worry about the Chicago Bulls, but they handled the Bulls the other night without James Harden. So I think it's their. I think the East is their conference to lose. But anyway, Ben Simmons, I wish he would play in this game because he's going to be at the bench, and there's going to be an F Ben Simmons chant almost the whole night long, and that's wrong. They shouldn't do that. Why? Because that proves his little mental case he's got going on. He's got a lawsuit. His agents are suing Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Sixers as a organization because they're gonna have video proof on Thursday. This is the environment I would have played in. You hear that?
Philly did create that for him.
Yeah, but I mean,
the office didn't do him any good by putting all the business out there.
Chris, what do you think of Ben Simmons?
I actually think it's going to fire the stadium up a little bit, and I think the Sixers, the way that the Nets are playing right now, I just think the Sixers, and there's nobody to cover NB. Nobody anywhere is covering him right now. He is a complete animal.
Yeah.
And the Sixers are the team to beat, in my mind. As much as it hurts me to say it, I think the Sixers are the team.
It sounds like we got a choke coming down the road.
Well, I mean, James Harden used to play for Houston. James Harden used to play for Houston, and he choked there, and then he went to Brooklyn, and they choked there. So that's what they're thinking is going to happen here. That during the regular season, he's an animal.
You forgot Oklahoma,
and one of the best, in the league at the position during the regular season, and then he gets to the playoffs, but he's never been with a guy like Embiid. He's never been with the team they have built now.
He was with Kevin Durant.
He's never been with a big man. The pick and roll is literally lighting up everybody right now.
Kevin Durant, him and Kevin Durant would fight over the ball.
No, he was with Durant and what's his name in Oklahoma?
Kyrie.
No, in Oklahoma.
Oh, who is he in Oklahoma? I don't know.
It was him, Durant, and
Westbrook.
I
just want to know if the Sixers have enough role players, because the role players win you the championships, not the actual players. Does he have enough role? Do they have enough role players to be able to win the championship?
Well, they just picked up a backup center to back up Embiid. And then they also got, Maxey's been on fire. Maxey's been getting better and better and better. Off the bench, though, Korkmaz is playing pretty good. Shake Milton's playing pretty good. I think they got it all around. The only thing that's stopping the Sixers to me is Doc Rivers. He's the one I don't trust.
Where's the Lakers? Where's all the Laker fans?
I don't want to talk about that right now.
Yeah.
Westbrook doesn't even want
not
to
working
bring
out for you, huh, bud?
Because they're booing him so bad.
Oh my God!
Michael Jordan would never sat back and just watched this happen.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Start the Jordan and LeBron debates.
No, because they're two different players.
Well, that's always the debate.
Yeah, they're two different players.
All right, so Chris, when does March Madness start?
It's actually the tournaments are starting right now. There's actually, I think, 10 teams already that qualified for the tournament. The ACC started today. And I think most tournaments start today.
What's the big team from around here? You're not from this area.
But Villanova.
Besides Villanova, like what's the one in small schools? Like
Rutgers. Rutgers has a great chance of making it this year.
That's awesome.
That's right. I don't follow college basketball
this year.
I don't follow college basketball, but I do watch the Final Four. I might even go as far as the Elite Eight.
I watched the first round. That's when it's fun.
That's when you get some upsets.
That's when you get the fun games. Yeah, the upsets, the big upsets.
When you get like a 15 seed knock off a 2 seed.
That's every year.
Yeah, they got Murray State there with I forget her name. Murray State's looking tough again this year.
How about UNC?
Carolina will be in. They're actually the number 3 seed right now, and they cracked the top 25 after they beat Duke and put Coach K out.
Coach K's last stand at home, right?
Yes. The whole family went nuts. The whole house went nuts for that game. It was amazing.
It was emotional. It was an emotional game and a hell of a career. And 70 years old. It's about time he walks away. He deserves it.
He's made enough money.
Well, besides that, I mean, one of the best coaches of all time in basketball, period.
Yeah.
Pros or not.
He's 70. Go enjoy life. You got little left.
Oh, my God. That's despicable. That is a despicable statement.
No, it's not. Like, seriously. Like, how long is he going to coach for?
He's 75 years old.
He's 75.
75.
How old's Belichick and Andy Reid? Aren't they the two oldest in the league right now?
Yeah, I mean, what does he have left to prove? Like, go enjoy life. Go do something else.
You know who really got me into March Madness back in the day? My brother. Like he would force me to fill out a bracket, and I'm like, I don't even know who these teams are, and I'm just like picking random.
You want to know what I miss about March Madness? The stupidest thing in the world. Pepsi used to put those little caps up there. Used to get a team.
Yeah. Coach K at Duke for 42 years.
That doesn't even make sense. Jennifer,
why doesn't that make sense?
Because he probably made enough money in the first 10.
How many maybe Jennifer can look this up. How many college championships did he end up with?
I think they got 4 championships, and his annual salary is like $9 million a year.
Insane. College basketball
for coach. A college basketball coach, $9 million a year.
There was always a lot of characters back in the day too, like Bobby Knight. Like, remember him?
Yeah, and all of a sudden you can't hit kids. It's bullshit. That's how you get shit across, right?
You just never know what he's going to say, Chris. I apologize to everybody watching. My opinion is not Anthony Joseph's opinion.
Listen, I love to see a chair go across the floor, maybe a kid get punched. Makes shit exciting. Well,
just everybody was okay with it. Referee for making a bad call, right? That's your way. That's what you want, Matt. March Madness. You want the referees to get a chair thrown in their direction.
There's nothing wrong with that. Look at the guy from Michigan.
Bobby Knight in his chair throwing. There it is.
Yeah, but the guy from Michigan, he got away with it. He only got suspended 5 games. He didn't hit somebody.
March Madness is one of the best tournaments in sports, period. Absolutely, Dennis. Absolutely. You ain't kidding. It's
the passion of coaching, man. The passion
Chris,
fires them up so much.
So, Chris, you know about college basketball. Who's going to be in the Final Four then?
Final Four. I actually think Duke is going to make it there.
Be interesting. That's a way to go out.
Gonzaga as a number 1 seed.
Gonzaga.
Arizona possibly making it there as a number 1 seed as well. And believe
we were talking about earlier, Rodgers.
I am going to take Kentucky.
KY.
I am going to take Kentucky.
Anthony loves himself some KY. So I heard.
Yeah, buddy.
But I'd love to see one of the underdog teams get in there, like a Murray State or somebody, and really make a run to the Final Four, like they did in the past years.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah, like a Rutgers. That'd be good for Rutgers to do that.
Rutgers has a great chance.
Jersey boy to the end, right there.
I think 6
Go Nova.
Top 10 teams this year.
Go Villanova. That's all I got here in PA.
I see Rutgers possibly as a 10 seed, but a very dangerous team.
Remember back in the day when Gonzaga, nobody ever heard of, and they were like a Cinderella story every damn year. They would get close and close. And now, every year, they're like a Final Four contender.
You keep cutting out, but I think Gonzaga aren't they like a California beach university or no?
I don't know. You guys can hear me, right?
Now, yeah, I can now.
All right, yo. What I was saying was Gonzaga used to be year in and year out. Like back in the day, they were a Cinderella team nobody heard of, and now they've built up a program there where they're contending for this thing every year.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. The only thing I don't like about Gonzaga is their schedule is weak. The teams they play during a regular season is not an ACC, SEC kind of schedule. So they walk their way into a possible number 1 seed. They're not beating top teams throughout the year.
So now I know why you mentioned Rutgers there, buddy. Jennifer's alma mater?
It's not that. Like I said, Rutgers has beaten 6 top 10 teams this year, more than anybody else.
UNC always, but I need to root for those Scarlet Knights. So everybody's on the Rutgers bandwagon. Anthony, see what you started?
Listen, we're going to the Final Four.
Hometown team.
Hell yeah, we're going to.
I'm a Jersey boy. I wouldn't be mad at it. So yeah, that starts. So when does the Field of 64 start? When does that start?
I just want to say something right now. I said Gonzaga, California. It's not. It's a Washington State.
They'll have
thank you for correcting
Sunday,
yourself.
I believe. Signature Sunday will be after all the tournaments are over this week. And then they'll announce
here we go.
The
Signature Sunday. Yes, Final Four. Are you? Man, you guys are firing Jennifer up, Anthony. She's all over it. Look at all the exclamation. Look at all the exclamation points.
I mean, they have a right to be fired up. They've beaten all these teams this year.
Just tell Chris to stop being a Lakers fan for me.
He doesn't even want to talk about the Lakers anymore. He probably
the Lakers might not make the playoffs. Imagine that, LeBron James.
LeBron James. He'll cry his way in somehow. They'll expand the playoffs. They'll do something.
My son's already jumped off their bandwagon.
Well, I mean, he doesn't even know who he likes anymore.
Well, he likes whoever LeBron's on, but then the Atlanta Hawks made it into the playoffs last year and took Philadelphia out. So he was like, all right, I'm an Atlanta Hawks fan now. And now this year they disappeared.
Now he's a Bulls fan, right? Now he's a Bulls fan or something?
Yeah, now he's Chicago Bulls, right?
Yeah.
Chicago Bulls. Because of Rhonda, or not Rhonda, what's his name? Ball.
He sounds like Tom Brady.
All right, you guys got anything else? We're going to wrap this up.
Nope. Rutgers.
What do we got on Major League Baseball? Anything?
No, they're not going to play in April.
Yeah, Anthony, you got anything going? I know that they've lost more games. They cut it down from the 162 to what, 140 or something?
It's already been documented. There's a lot of teams that don't care if they play in April because outside of New York, Philly, after opening day, the attendance drops dramatically because kids are still in school. They're not losing, they don't care. They'll wait until the summer and then they'll,
Chris knows I live an hour away from the former Staples Center. If they make the playoffs, I'll buy tickets to boo them. I love it. Chris under attack tonight. This is great.
But I don't see
tough season. Tough season.
Maybe late May.
Right, and they're just going to add to the playoffs in the new CBA, so they're going to make up that money back.
It's I don't know. It's stupid, but what happens when you have all the power?
It sucks because I want baseball and I want it now. We should have spring training games right now.
It was warm up though.
Dennis says that's my boy. He ain't talking about you, Anthony.
No. I think the only person that likes me in this world is my dog.
And barely at that. On that note, this was Home Team Sports. Come and see us each and every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, right on this YouTube channel and Facebook page. You can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and all that cool stuff. And you can go to 2M1L Media and subscribe to our channel as we have this show, and we have Spittin' with Spitter, and we have Around the Turnbuckle wrestling on Sunday night. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. You never know. And with these guys on my side, you just never know what might come out of Anthony Joseph's mouth. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. If it enters, it exits.
With that in mind, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm the Big Alboski. He's Fantasy Champ. That's Big Chris Fan. And we'll be back next week for Home Team Sports.
I see you shiver with anticipation.